Hello, my name is Stevie. I have a super fun little flow for you today. I have a playlist that goes with it to honor Halloween coming up this weekend. You can find that playlist on my Spotify account, which is under Wonder Practice. It's one word. The playlist for today's flow is just titled Halloween. It's got some cheeky little songs just as a nod to the fun that comes along with the season and Halloween and just all the good things that come along with that. So take a minute to find that playlist if you'd like. Again, it's just called Halloween. And don't start it. I'll tell you when we can get that going. You'll also need a strap for today's practice. And if you don't have a strap, you can use a belt. You could use a towel. You could even use a t-shirt. Anything that you can easily get around the bottom of your foot and still grasp with both of your hands. Some of our movements might require a little bit more flexibility than you have in your body, and blocks would also be recommended for that. Again, if you don't have blocks, you can grab a couple books, anything that's a nice solid surface and can help you to bring the earth up a little higher would be great. So take a minute and grab those props, and then we'll get ready here to begin. So I've been reading this book, Yoga Beyond Belief, and there was this chapter about sympathetic resonance, and I had never heard of that term, and I just am enamored with it right now. If any of you are into music or play instruments, this probably means something to you already, but it says here, sympathetic resonance is the phenomenon where one plucked string will also cause other strings in the area that are in tune to vibrate. And I really love that. I like the idea of you being in tune and being next to someone else who's in tune, or someone who has a good vibe and you have a good vibe, and it just further exacerbates this beautiful, in-tuned musical symphony. And I think yoga classes are a really good way to do that. I think even sometimes a lot of times we come in not in tune, and just being around all these other vibrating, beautiful creatures helps us to get our vibration back in tune, and we end up leaving as this like cohesive, beautiful thing that we can take out into the world. So let's keep that in mind today. The sympathetic resonance, whatever vibe you're putting out, attracts that and further sends that vibe out there. It's a beautiful thing. Hopefully you have all your props and your playlist set up. I'm going to start mine now, and we'll just start on our backs in reclined cobbler's pose. So you're going to bring your feet to touch, knees are falling out wide, and then you're laying flat out on your back. And if this is too intense that early on in the practice, now's a good time to use your blocks. You could even use pillows, and you can place those props right under your knees just to kind of help take the pressure off of the hips. Sometimes if we're not warmed up, it's just a little too much with the gravity pulling on our legs, so give them a little bolster with your props there. And this first song, if you are playing the playlist, has this beautiful drum beat, this great little Halloween fall vibe to it. So let that drum beat sink in. Allow your knees to fall open, your arms to rest on the earth, hands face up, and just breathe here. Check in with yourself. How are you feeling arriving on the mat today? What's the quality of your breath? See if you can let go a little bit, allowing the chest to expand and rise, the belly to rise and fall, and just sink into the earth. Let's take 3 breaths together before we begin movement. Inhale through the nose. Exhale, open mouth. Again, inhale. Exhale. One more, inhale. And release. Take your hands to the outside of your thighs, draw your knees close together, plant your feet on the mat. We're going to begin raising our hips. We'll do 2, not including the arms to begin. So inhale, lift the hips high. And exhale, release. Again, inhale, hips high. And exhale, lower down. This time when we lift the hips, we're also going to take the left arm up overhead. Inhale, hips high, left arm, and then look to the right. And release, hips come down, head releases, left hand comes down. Repeat on the other side, hips high, right arm up overhead, gaze to the left. And release. Lift up, left side, gaze goes right. And come down. And continue like this, following your own breath. Take it as slow as you'd like. Remember, the head is going in the opposite direction of the arm that you're taking overhead. Let's do 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, bring it down. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Allow yourself to settle. Maybe tuck your pelvis under so your low back becomes nice and flat on the mat. You might have a little sensation of your heart beating at this point. Just take notice of how you're feeling. And then take your legs nice and long on the mat. Arms reach nice and high up overhead. Full body stretch. Plant your feet back on the mat. This is a good time to grab your strap. We're going to take the strap over the right foot. Extend the leg nice and high, straight up to the sky. Pull those toes back. And this might be enough of a stretch for you here. If you want a little more, you can straighten out that bottom foot. And then we'll gently bend into the knee, just barely. It's like a micro movement, and then push away. Straightening, bending and straightening. Bringing a little life into that leg. Take it slow. Little movements. And you're going to want to keep resistance on that strap the entire time. And then extend the leg nice and long. Take the strap into your right hand. Both straps, both sides of the straps into your right hand. And slowly allow your leg to fall out to the right. If your left hip starts coming off the mat, stop there. So it doesn't matter how far you go. You just want both of your hips pinned to the ground. And when you get to your maximum, take a breath. And another breathe in. And out. On your next inhalation, draw your foot back up through center. Take both straps into your left hand. Right arm comes out to a T straight out from the shoulder. And we're just barely gonna pull our right leg across the left side of the body until you feel that IT band fire up. Again, we're keeping the hips pinned to the mat. This isn't a twist, it's a stretch for this IT band, which is so tight in all of us. So as soon as you feel it, stop and just breathe. Take your breath right across it. Full focus on the IT band. Smooth it out with breath. One more clearing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Take your foot straight back up to the sky. Bring your left leg high. Bring it into the straps. And then release your right leg. Your foot can find the mat if you'd like. Just give a gentle stretch till you feel the back of your thigh opening up a little bit. Toes are pulled back. If you want a little more stretch, take that right leg long on the mat. And again from here we'll do the micro bends and straightening through that leg. Keep tension on the strap the entire time. Making that leg gently work. And then extend. Take both ends of the strap into your left hand. Gently let that leg go out to the left. Wherever it goes, with hips pinned to the mat. And it doesn't matter how far over you get. Don't overdo it. And once you get where you get, breathe. Maybe close your eyes. On your next inhalation, draw your foot straight back up to center. Switch the grip on the straps. Left hand comes straight out from the left shoulder and slowly draw your leg over to the right. This one's so tight on me. Find your breath. It's okay if your leg's shaking. Just breathe there. 2 more nice, rich breaths. With your next inhalation, draw your foot straight up to the sky. Bring both feet into the strap again. One little stretch, drawing the toes back. And then slowly remove both feet from the strap. You can take your strap and set it off to the side, feet to the mat. Take your feet as wide as the mat and allow the knees just to drop in and chill here for a second. Take your time, rolling off to the side, and then making your way up to a nice seated position. And find yourself in a cross-legged position if that's okay for you. And if it's not, find any position that feels good. You can sit in to take some breaths together. We'll bring our fingertips to root right outside of our hips. Feel free to close your eyes if you like, or just take a nice soft gaze out in front of you. Feel your sit bones root. Feel your fingertips rooting. Flip your palms, inhale, reach wide and straight up overhead. Palms touch. Exhale, push away. Root the fingers. Again, inhale, sweep up. And exhale, release. One more inhale, nice and high. And exhale, hands back down to the earth. From here, take your hands, walk them straight out in front of you, folding over your crossed thighs. Reaching in front of you, hips are drawing back. Maybe drop your forehead to the mat if you're able to. And if not, just relax wherever you are. Allow your body to settle in, stretching out those hips. And now walk back to your upright seated position. Root those fingertips and we'll take one breath. Inhale. Exhale. Lean back and switch the cross of your legs. Sometimes this feels a little awkward. That's okay. We're going to stretch out the hips equally. Let's take another breath. Inhale. Exhale down. And then again, walk out right over your folded legs. Settling in. And sometimes the second side feels a little tighter, so make sure you're reaching through the fingertips and your hips are drawing back. Remaining rooted on the mat. And walk your hands back. Coming into seated. One more breath. Inhale. Exhale. Let's roll over our shins, coming into a nice tabletop position. So wrists are aligned under the shoulders, knees are under the hips, long spine. Settle in here, spread the fingers nice and wide. And then on your next inhalation, bring the head and tailbone straight up to the sky. Exhale, rounding through the spine. Head comes down, push away with your hands. Again, inhale up. Nice and slow, like you're moving through honey. Exhale, push away. And then just take this and move with your own natural breath for a couple rounds. Feel free to add some additional movement. A shake of the hips, a roll of the rib cage, whatever feels good. And then come back to your neutral position. Elongate your spine. Take your right foot behind you. Toes find the mat. And slowly begin to rock back and forth. Bringing some life to the back of the calves. Rolling on the toes, awakening the arch of the foot. And then find your stillness. Sweep that right foot over to the left. Gaze goes over your left shoulder. See if you can see your right heel over there. Feel that beautiful side stretch to the right side body. And then release back to tabletop. Left foot goes behind you and begin that rocking movement. Enlivening the leg. Stretching the toes. Come to stillness. Sweep your foot to the right. Gaze over the right shoulder. Breathe into the left side body, stretching there. One more big breath. And then release to tabletop. Bring the big toes to touch, knees wide, draw back into child's pose. 3 beautiful rounds of breath here. All right, rise back up into tabletop. Tuck the toes. Hips go high. Down dog, maybe pedal it out here a little bit. Bending and straightening one leg and then the other. And then see where your down dog falls right now. So you're going to draw your heels down towards the mat. They don't have to touch. They're just reaching that way. Spread the fingertips nice and wide. Hips high. Take a breath. Expand through the ribs. And then look up and slowly tiptoe towards the top of the mat. Arriving in forward fold. Hang here. You can add a slight bend to your knees if you need. Just hang heavy. Clasp your hands behind your neck. Draw your elbows down. Add a little traction. Breathe deep into the stretch of the neck and spine. Release your hands. Maybe take your feet a little bit wider than hip width. Grab the elbows and sway from side to side. Everything's moving together now. Whole body's loosening up. Nice. And then find your stillness through center. Plant the hands. Realign your feet right under the hips. Fold in. Inhale, half lift, long spine. Exhale, fold in, nice and deep. 2 breaths here. Nice. Take a nice deep bend to the knees and slowly roll up to standing. Slowly, 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 head comes up last. Roll the shoulders back. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, hands to the heart center. Again, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Find the mat. Fold in. Inhale, half lift. Long, long spine. Exhale, release. Bend the knees and roll up. Take it slow. Head rises, shoulders go back. Inhale up. Maybe look up, slight back bend, and then exhale, hands to the heart. Again, reach high, inhale. Swan dive forward slowly. Find the mat. Fold. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Bend the knees and roll up. Shoulder roll. Arms high. Exhale, hands to the heart. Release your hands into mountain pose. Just check in with yourself. Maybe rock back and forth on your feet. Establishing that nice foundation today. Feel all 4 corners of your feet touching the earth, the energy rising up through the front of the legs. Tuck the sacrum slightly to lock that foundation in, and then rise from there, stacking one vertebrae on top of the next. Long neck, head floating above the shoulders. Beautiful. Inhale, arms high. Exhale, swan dive forward. Nice long fold. If you're listening, we've got some Pour Some Sugar on Me playing right now. This is awesome. Step the right foot back. Find your low lunge. Drop the back knee. Inhale, arms high. Anjaneyasana. Take it easy. Exhale, hands to the mat. Tuck your back toes, straighten the front leg. Pyramid, fold. This is a good place to grab your blocks. If the ground is way too far away, grab those blocks, books, and use that here. Bring the earth up to you. Pyramid. Bend your front knee. Rise up. Crescent lunge. Amazing. Release the hands to the mat and step to the top. Again, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. And again, you can bend your knees and roll up, or you can just reverse swan dive. Nice long spine. Draw the belly in, arms high. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, high. Exhale, dive in. Hands find the mat. Left foot goes back this time. Low lunge. Drop the back knee. Arms high. Anjaneyasana. Breathe. Release your hands to the mat. Tuck the back toes. Straighten the front. Pyramid. Use those blocks if you need. Whatever makes the pose feel good. Bend the front knee. Arms high. High crescent lunge. Gorgeous. Release the hands. Step to the top again. Fold. Inhale, half lift. Sink in a little deeper. And rise. We'll take it through that flow one more time. Hands to the heart. Sweep up. And fold. Find that mat. Right leg goes back. Drop the knee. Reach high. Anjaneyasana. Look up if that feels okay. Release the hands. Tuck the back toe. Draw back into pyramid. Find your breath. Bend into the front knee. Rise up. Reaching long through that back leg. Feel the energy just shooting out of your heel. And release. Step to the top, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, dive in. Take a breath. Inhale, rise. Hands high. Little back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Plant your hands, left foot goes back. Establish your low lunge and then drop the back knee. Arms high. Draw the hips forward slightly, getting a nice stretch to that left hip flexor. Breathe and reach long. Exhale, release. Tuck the back toes and straighten into pyramid. Just breathe. Take a bend through the front knee. Back leg reaching long and rise. Really reach into the foundation of those feet. Thighs are squeezing towards one another. Hands come down to the mat. Step it back, down dog. Heels reaching towards the mat. Hips high. Thighs reaching towards the back wall. Chest towards the thighs. Take a big breath. Release your knees, coming down, finding child's pose. Catch your breath here for just a moment. Maybe rock your head from side to side, releasing the neck, massaging out the third eye space. Take a big clearing breath. Inhale. Exhale. Find your way back into tabletop position. Tuck your toes. Push back, down dog. 3 breaths in down dog. Spread those fingers wide. Equal weight in the hands and the feet, pushing, drawing the tailbone straight up to the sky. Inhale your right leg high. Bend your knees, stack your hips. Maybe do some hip circles here. If that feels good. Keep equal pressure in both hands. And then extend your legs straight back up to the sky. Inhale. Exhale, draw in towards the chest and then plant your foot between both hands. Just find your lunge here. We're going to heel toe our foot out to the right side of the mat and bring both hands inside of the foot. Just stay here in this lunge for a minute and then drop the back knee. Coming into lizard. You can stay right here. If this is a little much, again, find those blocks. Whatever works for you. It's all the same pose. If you have a little more flexibility, you can drop down onto your forearms and then just allow your head to release. Find your breath. If you're holding your breath, you're probably too deep into the posture, so back out a little. Come back onto your hands, bringing your hands under your shoulders. We're going to walk both hands over towards the left and then slowly begin adding some hip circles. And you're guiding this movement from the pressure in your right foot. So stamp that right foot down into the earth and let the movement come from there. And that should take the pressure off of your back knee. And you can make these circles as big or as small as you'd like, whatever feels good to you. And then reverse. Remember to focus on that front foot. And then we'll come to stillness, planting both hands back out under the shoulders and stepping back into down dog. Enjoy your down dog for 3 breaths. Turning the eyes of the elbows towards the front of the room so you're wrapping your shoulders towards your ears so that these little crooks of the arms are turning forward. Take that left leg high. Bend your knees, stack your hips. And again, maybe add those circles. And then extend your leg long. Inhale. Exhale, step it through. Finding your low lunge. Just settle into the lunge here for a minute. Heart reaching forward. And then begin to take your left foot out towards the left. Both hands come to the inside of your left foot. Back knees raised. Take a breath. And then exhale the back knee down. And see what variation of lizard you'd like to go in here. So again, you can stay up high. You can find some blocks, books, whatever. Maybe come down just a little further. Or if your hips are open enough, feel free just to drop all the way down. As long as you can breathe comfortably, you're doing all right. And you can always back up just a little to make it more comfortable for you. Tap into your breath. Two more breaths. You should really feel this through the front side of your right hip. And then bring your hands back under your shoulders and walk them out towards the right. And we'll begin those circles from that, the grounding of our left foot. Big, big hip circles. Feel free to walk your hands wherever that feels good. We don't want a lot of pressure on the back knee. And reverse. Come to stillness. Take your hands back to the center of the mat. Walk your foot in and step back to down dog. Maybe pedal it out just a little bit. Slowly make your way up to the top of the mat. Just tiptoe up there. Did some big hip opening, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold, and then rise. Extended mountain pose, slight back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart. From here, we're going to open to the right side. Bring your feet parallel. Take your arms nice and wide. Like a star. Take a breath. And then slowly begin to tip forward, hinging from the hips. Nice long spine, fingertips find the mat. Sink in. Walk your hands forward, inhale, half lift. And exhale, sink in again, wide forward fold. Maybe grabbing the outside edge of your ankles, pulling your heart space down towards the mat, and just breathe. Bring your weight into your toes, hips high, long spine. And release your hands back to the mat. Inhale for a half lift. Exhale, release. Bring the hands to the hips. Draw in the belly and gently rise, long spine. Maybe reestablish that beautiful star. Turn your right toes out. Left foot stays exactly as it is. Begin to draw your left hip back. Right hand reaches forward, reaching till you get to your maximum reach, and then drop into triangle. Left arm high. Again, you can use a block here. Whatever height you'd like, just bring that earth right up to you so you can feel the pose. You can rest your hand on your shin gently. Whatever feels good for you. You can take your gaze up to your top hand. If that's too much on your neck, just look down. Breathe, long spine. Nice, bend into that front knee. Slowly rise up into warrior two. Reverse. Exhale, coming down into side angle pose. Drop your right elbow to the right knee. Draw your left hand across the body and open. Reaching one long line from the fingertips of the left hand to the outer edge of that left foot. Inhale up and reverse. Exhale, bring it down. Low lunge, step it back, down dog. 3 breaths. Look up between your hands, slowly tiptoe your way to the top of the mat. Fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. Rise up. Slight back bend. Exhale, hands to the heart. This time stepping open to the left. Feet become nice and parallel. Star out the arms. Take a breath. Inhale. Exhale, fold long spine. Find the mat. Fold in, weights in the toes. Walk your hands out to half lift. Plant the left hand so it's coming right under your face, and then take your right hand high. Exhale, release both hands to the mat. Switch out, take your right hand below the face. Long spine, left arm high. And release. Fold in. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Bring your hands to your hips. And rise. From here, we're going to turn our heels in. Slowly descend into this goddess squat. Knees are headed out towards your toes. They're shooting out the same way as your feet. Tailbone's drawing down, spine is long. You can put your hands wherever you'd like. In front of your heart, out to the side, whatever feels good. And just breathe. Maybe come up onto the ball of your right foot. And release. Come up onto the ball of your left foot. Sink in. You got it. Release and rise. Bring your feet parallel, find that star, take a breath. Turn those left toes towards the front of the mat. Back foot is in line with the back of the mat. And again, begin to hinge forward. So you're drawing your left hip back. And then coming into triangle pose, using a block if needed, resting on your shin if needed, whatever feels good, reaching high, shoulders are stacked, long spine, chest is opening towards the ceiling as much as you can. Take your gaze down, bend into your front knee, rise up, warrior two. Find your gaze over that middle finger. Inhale. Exhale, reverse. And then come into side angle pose, gently resting your left elbow on your left knee. We're not sinking into the shoulder here, we're really pushing out nice and long. Sweep your hand out across the body and open. It's like an arrow from your back leg to the top of those right fingers, just shooting out energy. Drop the hips. Inhale, reverse. And then release down to low lunge. And back into down dog, 3 breaths. Zombie playing on the playlist right now. Rise up high on the toes. And then drop your heels off to the right. Hips go back. Come back through center. Drop the heels to the left. More IT band stretching here. Rise up through center and then tiptoe straight up to the top. Nice and slow. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Bring the toes to touch. Drop those hips down, squeezing the thighs together, rise up into chair pose. Inhale. Exhale, hands to the heart, stand up. Inhale, hands high. Exhale, fold. Keep those toes touching. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Again, sit back and rise into chair. Hips nice and low. Find your breath. Bring your hands to your heart. And twist gently over to the right. Hook that left elbow onto the outside of your right knee. Draw your right hip back. If it wants to sneak forward, keep it back. Keep your hips level. Come back through center. Take a breath. The legs are screaming. Twist to the left. So you've got right elbow hooked onto the left knee. Opening the chest to the sky, hips low. Squeezing the thighs together. Release through center. Inhale. Exhale, fold. You can take your feet back to hip width. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise. We're going to come into another squat, Malasana squat this time. So we're going to drop our hips way low. Slowly, slowly. If this is not in your practice, or it's too much on your knees or whatever, take a block and just set it right under your hips. This is the same position, it's just supported. And then take your elbows to the inside of your thighs and gently press open. You can play with this if you're using a block. See what height gives you a little bit of work, but nothing that's uncomfortable. I'm going to remove mine. Just breathe here. Draw the belly in. One more big breath. Release your hands to the mat and roll forward, coming into forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold in. Bring your feet to hip width and roll up to standing. Hands to heart. Inhale it. Exhale, fold. Fingertips find the mat. We're just going to step right back into down dog. Drop the knees to the mat. Take yourself into a beautiful child's pose. Draw the hips back. Arms reaching nice and long in front of you. Let the heartbeat come down. Let the breathing come down. If you've got a lot of heat going, take a nice clearing breath with a deep inhale through the nose and a large exhale with open mouth. Feel free to take as many of those as you need just to clear out the heat. Inhale. Exhale. Nice. Rise up into tabletop. We're just going to swing around, bring our feet out in front of us into Dandasana. Legs long in front of you. Feet drawing back. Just feel that for a minute. You can bring your fingertips out to the side of your hips. My heart's still beating. Draw your right knee in, hug it. Long spine. The elongated leg on the ground is rooted, reaching through the heel. Take the right hand behind for a gentle spinal twist. Left arm wraps around your bent knee. You can even hook that elbow and gently open yourself up a little bit more if your spine feels okay for a bigger twist. And take your gaze over your back shoulder if you'd like. And then release to the front. Extend that leg long. Hug in the left knee. Reach through the right leg. Find your breath. Again, left hand goes behind. Right arm hugs that bent leg. Maybe hooks to the outside of it, increasing the twist. Whatever you need today, keep that right leg extended nice and long. Gaze over the back shoulder. And then unwind back to the front. Both legs long, root the hands. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, slowly fold forward, long, long, long spine. Seeing where you land with a long spine before curving. And just rest there. It's not matter where you are. Right here is great. Here, even if we're way up here. And if you can't sit up straight here, just stick a block or a pillow under your hips. So you can get that long spine. Enjoy this forward fold. Let's take a nice deep breath and inhale inhale some length into the spine, and then see if you can come forward just a bit more. And find breath there. Inhale, begin to walk your hands back, squeezing your legs on the way up, giving them a little love. Nice. All right, from here we're going to take right hand behind us. Bend your right knee. Grab the outside of your right foot with your left hand. I know that's a lot of instruction there. So right hand's behind you, right knee's bent, left hand grabs the outside of your left foot. And then we're going to extend the right leg and twist. Slightly drawing your extended right leg towards the left leg for a nice stretch. We're getting that IT band a lot today. And then release. Extend both legs long. Maybe shake out the legs just a little bit. From here, left hand goes behind. Then the left leg. Right hand grabs the outside of the left foot. And again, extend that leg long and over towards the right. Stretching the IT band. You can come back on your fingertips of your back hand a little bit. And look over that back shoulder. Really breathe into the IT band stretch. And then release. Bring both feet to kiss. Butterfly pose. Maybe take a couple flaps. Close your eyes. And then find stillness. Allow your knees just to fall open. And instead of focusing on pushing them down, imagine your knees reaching towards the edges of the walls, like reaching as far out as they can to stretch out the hip socket. Long spine. And from this space, begin to fold forward till you get to a place where it feels like your spine wants to round. Don't let it round. Take a breath. And then with the exhale, allow yourself just to submit. Rounding in. Maybe your forehead finds your feet. Maybe not. You can grab a block. Set it there and just rest for a minute. Breathe into the hips. Remove your prop if you're using one, and then slowly rise up. Extend your legs long, one more time. Inhale the toes back. Exhale, point. Inhale, draw the feet back. Exhale, point the toes. Inhale, flex. Exhale, point. All right. Place both feet on the mat. Grab the backs of your thighs, lean back. So this is like boat prep pose, and you're more than welcome to stay here, especially if your back's hurting or anything. Just stay here, long spine. If you'd like a little more, lift those feet off the ground so your thighs, or your shins are parallel with the mat. Leaning back. Whew. Draw in the belly. Maybe release the hands. Some of you can probably extend your legs. That's a little hard for me today. See where you'd like to go, play with it a little bit. And then release your feet back to the mat. Take your feet to the edges of your mat and we'll windshield wiper. Both knees going to the right and both knees going to the left. Back and forth just a couple of times. And then come back through center. Go into that boat prep pose again. Stay here if you'd like. Or go into whatever variation you would like. See if you can hold for 3 breaths here. And then slowly lower yourself all the way to the mat. Take your hands up overhead, reach and extend. Full body extension, it feels so good. Draw your right knee into the chest, give it a little hug. And then slowly rock it back and forth in the socket. This little half moon shape. Hug it back in. And then draw your right knee over towards the left, spinal twist. And come back through center, extend that leg long again, full body extension, reaching through the fingers, reaching through the toes. And then draw your left knee in. And give that hip socket a little love. Back and forth, nice and slow. This up and over motion. Hug the knee in, take it over to the right. Breathe into the twist. more time taking the legs long, the arms extended. Inhale. Exhale, draw everything in into a tight little ball. Draw the forehead up even. Release the spine down, take the feet up into happy baby. One last stretch into the hips. Keep your sacrum down towards the mat if you can. Drawing the knees towards the armpits. And then release your feet, taking everything down to the mat. Add a little space between your heels. Maybe wiggle around a little bit, seeing where it feels good for your hips and your sacrum to meet the mat, where your calves meet the mat, where your upper back meets the mat, and your head. Allow your arms to rest, palms faced up. Close your eyes. And we'll take 3 breaths together to settle into Shavasana. Inhale. Exhale, side out. Inhale. Exhale. One more inhale. And release. Allow your body to become nice and heavy on the mat. Allow all of your movement and breath just to settle in. Shavasana. Invite in a deeper breath. Filling the body with prana, expanding the rib cage, expanding the belly and letting everything drop. Take a couple more of these nice, nourishing, intentional breaths. Coming back into the body, back into your container. And add a little bit of additional movement with the breath. Maybe a wiggle of the fingers and toes. Maybe rocking the head back and forth. Whatever feels good to you. And as you're ready, roll over to whichever side's feeling more open and rest in this fetal position for just a breath cycle or two. Enjoy the calm. Breathe into it. And then as you're ready, make your way to a nice seated position. Keep your eyes closed if that feels okay to you. Allow your palms to rest face up on your knees. And as we close our practice, I just want to come back to that idea of the sympathetic resonance. The idea that if we're in tune, we can become in tune with those around us and have this harmonious experience. That an instrument can do that naturally on its own, and we too are instruments. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide you in your exquisite practice today. I hope you leave feeling a little more in tune. Take that out into the world. Happy Halloween, happy fall. Bring your hands to rest in front of your heart. Take a breath. Namaste.